We've got a lot better map this evening. You can see where the parcel is there. That's about 2/10 of an acre. I know that Travis has looked at the description on it. It's pretty convoluted on the breakup of it there, but essentially the Penobscot River Restoration Trust is done with all their work on the river. And so now the Nature Conservancy has taken over and is offering out any parcels that they have left at no cost to any of the municipalities that are along the river in those towns. There are restrictions that are on this lot. Some of them only can be used for public recreational or educational use. There's a lot of other restrictions you can see in the deed. I sent those to Eric, and I've asked him to take a look at that and kind of red flag a bunch of potential issues if we decide to take it or not. William Brune from the Nature Conservancy said if the council wanted to hear from him, he'd be more than happy to come up and speak if you wanted him here, but I figured we'd at least go through the process of having Eric review all the documents first and let us know, his thoughts if there's any issues on the city receiving this or anything we should look at before taking it.
So will you have them reviewed by the next meeting?
I will, yeah. I did have a chance to look at the deed, and there are a lot of use restrictions in there that may not be an issue. I mentioned to Bill before the meeting that my immediate concern that close to the Great Works facility is has any kind of environmental assessment done on the property. You don't want to buy into a lot that may have, if there's any possibility of contamination of the river soils, river bottom, you don't want to buy into that liability.
Right. So other than that, once he reads it and that concern, do you have any other concern with us taking this?
I don't at this point. Certainly, if we're going to be involved at all down on that site, if we could control that, that's probably all the better for us. But I'd just as soon have Eric take a look at that and see if there are any restrictions that we should know about, or like he said, any environmental concerns that I can get back to William Brune and ask him if there's anything, if that was part of the original VRAP that was done on the mill site to see.
If not, can we include the VRAP that we're trying to get done right now?
Yeah. Yep.
So is this, I don't think I've been, is this gravel right down to the water? What is this?
Yeah, as far as this time of year it is. I don't know how much water is there,
Yeah.
when it's springtime. My assumption is not a lot. I'm sure most of what you see in that picture where it looks like it's gravel is probably covered in the springtime.
And there may be a lot more there right now.
Right.
I mean, probably this piece of land goes to water's edge, so to speak.
Yes. Yep.
Wherever that is at any point in time, is that correct or no?
Yes.
You said you must all clear the water every time.
We can take a look at those and see.
What do you think, Eric?
Well,
I mean, this says there's 3/4 pins drawn there, but if there's low water, we still won't clear the water, or?
The state owns the water, but
Yeah, but there's no water there.
Right, since it's non-tidal waters this high up, you would own out to the center of the river, but with the adjacent parcels, that would be a hard boundary to draw, because they also would have the same rights to the river
Regardless,
bottom.
we could say that we own to the water.
I believe so.
Or
I mean,
no water in the center of the river, but
well,
it would be tough to draw those lines to.
yeah, I want to look at the deed description itself, but it may be buying along the high water mark. I haven't reviewed that part of it yet, so, but if it's,
But I guess if we're gonna buy all the rest of the land that goes there, then it'd be easy to define that then.
Yeah.
Because we don't own all the way around, all
yeah.
3 sides, if
Yes.
you would.
Yeah.
Any further comments?
No.
I'd like to adjourn this meeting then.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have to motion,
No,
we just
no,
adjourn it.
we're good.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll move on to the Finance Committee. We have 3 items, it looks like. Public Works request, John. Looks like Public Works Director John Rulo has received 4 qualified bids for a 3/4 ton pickup with plow and utility body, and is looking for a recommendation to the full council to accept the low bid from Darlings Dodge for a 2017 Dodge pickup in the amount of $36,959. I think there's an attachment in here somewhere, right?
Should be a spreadsheet.
Spreadsheet, yeah. Excuse me. So it looks like that's the other bids right there for that one.
Do you want to talk about them all or individually?
What's is it all coming together? Is it all one?
Yeah, we bid a 3/4 ton pickup, a mid-size chassis, which is like it's for French Island,
Okay.
which is 1.5 ton, 2-ton truck, something like that. And then the plow and the body that goes on that chassis.
Okay. So all three will just end up being one vehicle. No, two.
Two vehicles, correct, yep.
So the top one's its
First
own
one,
vehicle.
3/4 ton one, is replaces a 2005
That's what I was looking for.
GMC that's got a plow on it that is essentially the foreman's truck.
How many miles that has on it? Probably don't know.
No, I don't.
Okay.
But I can tell you that it sheared all the cab mounts off. We've welded that back together. You know, they work hard.
Right.
They work a lot.
Yep.
So it's pretty tired. Utility body setup is much like what the water department is doing now. When you leave, when the foreman leaves especially, he's got everything with him in a utility body locked up. So
That's
you
all
see
those compartments on
exactly.
the back. Gotcha.
And it has a plow on the front. We use it for the parking lots, a lot of the smaller parking lots, a lot of the dead ends, and the turnarounds,
So what happens?
cul-de-sacs.
What happens to the 2005?
We'll rotate that. Nobody was interested in the trucks that we've got are pretty old, pretty beat. So that trade-wise, there's nothing there. So we'd just keep it until the wheels really were square. Just don't put any more money into it. I'm short pickups now, so it would be helpful to have it. Still has a plow.
Okay.
We put quite a bit of work into that
Yep.
pickup.
Any questions on this vehicle? This first one. And this is all in the budget, right? That we.
Yeah, I will mention that when we budgeted for Public Works heavy equipment this year, we budgeted 175 for this quoted equipment right here, and it came in at 137,704.
Okay.
So it is about 37.3 less than what we had predicted.
Okay.
The mid-size one is where the bigger savings was.
So let's jump to that one. The mid-size.
Mid-size is Dodge 5500. You'll notice on the spreadsheet that we had an unqualified bid. We got a couple bids that it was just a bid. It didn't really say what we were getting. So you can't do an apples-to-apples comparison because we send out a bid spec. When you get it back, they tell us what we're getting. So it was only a few $100s less, so we just disqualified that bid
Okay.
because we really didn't know what we were getting. So again, this one was Darlings, and it was a Dodge, and it's a diesel. This replaces the GMC that's an 06.
2006.
I don't even know where to begin with that one. There's been a lot of trouble with it. Most recently, the headlight fell out because the headlight bucket rusted out. So when the headlights fall out,
Guess I use the
it's-
flashlights.
well, yeah, I mean, we got it fixed, but it's,
Yeah.
we've replaced fuel tanks on it several times. It leaks oil. It's
Time to go.
time to go, yeah. We'll put that up on a surplus auction because nobody was interested in that one either.
What do those things go for? $400, $500, $600 surplus?
Yeah, I don't. Maybe somebody buy for $1,500 or
Wow.
yeah, you never know. I mean, they may be able to pick it apart.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. All right. Perfect.
I don't want to say all the issues that we had. If somebody's, are we on TV?
Yes.
Okay, we don't want to talk about it then.
Any questions on either one of these vehicles for John?
And we'll mention the plow's the last one. When we buy the heavier trucks, they come just the chassis, the cab and the frame on the back. So we have to spec the plow and the body separately. This one, you'll notice, had a lower number, but I'm recommending the stainless steel because that truck is a salt priority. That's really all it carries is salt. So with the stainless, we could potentially use that on 2 chassis. So it could outlast the chassis. And that was only, it was a $4,500 ad.
For making it stainless.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, about $4,500.
Okay. Any questions on this? If not, this will go forward to the council, the next council meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to Lance. Airport plowing bids. Airport manager Lance Ferris received 4 bids for a 5-year contract to plow at the airport. He is looking for a recommendation to the full council to accept the bid of Owen J. Folsom for a 5-year contract, the amount of $253,600 to plow the airport. Funds are to come from the airport account number 1300-0299, other contractual. I think we have something on that in the packet as well.
Yes.
Mr. Farrer?
Evening.
Good evening. So, you're recommending to go with Folsom.
Folsom's, yes.
And we have 4. How many bids you got? 4?
We had 4 bids.
4 bids.
Yes.
Okay. And that is there anything you want to say on that?
Not really. I mean, we went with a very reputable company. We felt could provide the services needed. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was yourself and
The bid that you're recommending is 25% more than the low bid.
it is a higher bid than the lower bidder, but we felt that with prior work performance that we had dealings with, and the amount of
The
the,
outfit that plowed it this year or last year?
no, they didn't put in for a bid.
but you've dealt
But
with them on other projects.
We've dealt with them on other projects, and I feel the bid is too low to cover the cost throughout the season.
So they would come back with change orders or something?
Change orders,
One of
yes.
the things that we looked at when we sat down with John and Lance, only because John's had to deal with plowing the airport before, and Lance obviously has dealt with contractors in the past and plowing it privately. We were hoping the bids would come in somewhere in the $46,000 to $57,000 range, because that's typically been about where it's cost.
Been about the average each year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Give me that number again
obviously
so I
we
can
got-
write that down. 40, what did you say?
And 47,
Yeah, 46 to, lower 46 to higher 57, the way
Okay.
we were hoping it would come in.
Okay.
And we've got 2 bids that basically came in that range, and then we had 1 bid that was much higher than that, and 1 bid that's much lower.
Correct.
And concern with the bid that's much lower is we're gonna be running around chasing those numbers, because I don't, that's certainly much lower than anybody else has been able to plow the airport for.
And they're able to, if this group got this contract, they're able to do change orders, and then we have to pay it anyways if they
You know,
go
it's-
over. Correct?
correct.
And we've had, the apron project at the airport with this company wasn't the smoothest operation. There were some issues up there with timeliness on the contract. We had some discussions between Stantec and M.O. Harris dealing with, with conflicts on the interpretation of the plans themselves. And that's where you start running into change orders, where he interpreted it one way and Stantec believed it was really clear. And my concern is, we've put out these bids now, and we're gonna end up battling over how the airport's gonna be plowed or not plowed. I think it could end up being a performance issue on how it gets done and when it gets done.
Now, it does say that we can reject any offer, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions on this?
I'm just curious why the prices are different for each year. I'm wondering.
Yeah, how do they know if it's gonna
Yeah.
snow?
Well, they add in the cost each year of inflation for fuel,
Yeah,
And-
I
Just so when
understand
you
that, but it went, yeah,
wages.
went down.
But like
It
it's
went-
higher this year, and then it
It
goes
goes
down.
down, and then I'm just curious.
And it
Say
does,
you're gonna buy
I,
a piece of equipment,
yeah,
Oh,
it
to
can
do,
happen the first year.
first year, I see.
yeah.
And they didn't amortize it over 5
Okay.
years,
Gotcha.
they
All
want
right.
to pay for it,
Yeah,
Right.
thank you.
be my guess.
Because it's just
Yeah.
kind of curious, how the second year would be less.
And they all seem to be, well, like you say, the on the streets, it starts off lower, then it
Mm-hmm. And
goes
then
up,
they
doing
up.
basically what you're
Mhm.
saying with fuel and stuff like that, but I
Wages and
think what
fuel and-
Stan's saying is correct, that they gotta purchase something to do that. Any other questions on this? If not, it'll go to the full council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on. I think we have one last item, I believe. Right? Yes. Stillwater Avenue traffic lights, our favorite topic. Police Chief Scott Wilcox will update the committee on the traffic lights at the intersection of Stillwater, Bennett Road, and College Avenue. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So I've learned an awful lot about traffic lights, more than I anticipated. If you want to stop cars, I'm your guy. If you want to look at patterns and where they should go and how they should go, probably Rulo's the guy you want to be talking to. But here we are, so we're going to give it a run. We'll see where we end up. And John's been a huge help, so I appreciate that. So we reached out to, when we heard about the problems we were having, we reached out to John Sear, who takes care of our traffic lighting out of the electrical division of Public Works in Bangor. They maintain our light systems for us. And so this is what we have learned. Bennett Road seems to be the problem. And so I'll give you the report on what I have on that. Is inbound, so coming into town during the Orono project, when they repaved, they cut the loop switch detection, which detects traffic coming to it, okay? When that happened, we no longer have any detection coming from that direction. That put a constant call on phase 5, which I'm going to guess is the turning lane, because he says the turning lane, and that was staying locked open for a longer period of time than it should be because it was calling for it. So they have now decreased that from a 24-second rotation to an 8-second rotation, but we still have no detection coming from that direction. So nothing, we've reverted back to programming. So the two things that I've learned that make traffic intersections successful is detection's number one. So when you have no detection of where traffic is coming from any direction, it really slows down the amount of vehicles that come through. When you fall back and rely on programming, which is the box on the side of the pole, it slows it down that much more, because detection is what makes cars pass through at a faster rate. So in order to correct this problem, what they are suggesting is that we invest in traffic cams, because we have no detection, we have zero detection in one direction.
They can't just fix that part of it?
They can with a traffic cam. What I was told is that nobody in Maine and New Hampshire, and this came from him, nobody in Maine and New Hampshire is doing loop switches any longer in the road systems.
That's what I meant, a loop switch. That's what I mean, yeah.
So, the real good news is traffic cams are about $15,000. So, traffic cam is the least expensive, but one of the most reliable systems that are out there. And he just said that they're used throughout throughout Bangor at all their intersections. They use this company traffic cam. That's one step. The next step is there's also one double head cluster which faces Orono. So one of the traffic lights themselves that faces Orono, they have it, it's currently working, but if it is to break again, it is beyond repair. So that would have to be replaced as well. He said that that is about $1,500 to $1,600 to replace that one traffic cluster, so that would work. The suggestion that goes along with the traffic cam, so for detection, is also the programming part of this, which would be the actual cabinet full of the electronic components. Those cabinets run between $12,000 and $16,000. With that, you would also need to purchase a new controller. And those controllers run between $4,500 and $5,000 for a controller. So, and I'll speed up real quick, and we'll come back as we discuss what we want to do. But he also went up and took a look at College and Stillwater Avenue, because that seems to be a choke point as well. We do have some traffic cams there, so we're good. We've come into that section. However, our cabinet is vintage 70s, so the programming is extremely old. And is in very rough condition. He said needs to be replaced. I mean, it's working, but eventually it's going to have to be replaced. So again, that cabinet cost is between $12,000 and $16,000. Again, that controller cost is between $4,500 and $5,000. That cost is his cost with labor installed. So that's where we're at with that.
So when you say that,
Yeah.
12 and 16, what you're really saying is 16 and 20,000. Because you have to have the controller to go with the cabinet?
Correct.
Correct. Well, the controller's $4,500 to $5,000, yes, and then the cabinet's 12 to 16,000.
So you're
So
talking
yes.
about $20,000.
And then
16 to 20.
I'm sorry, 16.
so what he knows that's a substantial amount of money, and what he also recommended was then at the very least At the Bennick Road intersection, go with the traffic cams, because that's going to get you the detection. And detection's what makes traffic move better than programming, is that result. We did, John found a cabinet. It's completely empty. There's nothing in it. When John came up, it has zero value. We tried to sell it to him. He didn't want it. So, anyways, so that's what we know right now. And I know that John has reached out to Bax. There's zero money there right now. We're now going to start to reach out to some other people to see if we.
Zero money there now, and zero money at the end of the traffic study that just got funded. So whatever the result of the study is, there's no money to implement the study.
So he looked at all the lights from Bennick. He looked at still College Ave. Did we look at them at Hannaford? Were those ones running all right? The ones at Hannaford?
We haven't looked at those lights. We looked at what the problem was for the traffic flow out of Old Town.
Old Town, okay.
And that's going to be College Ave and Bennick Road.
Right.
And
Those new ones
yeah.
at Hannaford should be fine.
Well, the school.
Since you brought them up, I think that the camera may be angled a little wrong, because oftentimes the traffic going out Stillwater Avenue sits there. Well, actually, that goes, but you have to sit there going towards town. It's like it reads a car in the left-hand turn lane when there's nothing there.
Which one, Stan? Which one are we
At,
talking about?
the
Hannaford?
Hannaford?
Yeah,
All right.
that's what I thought.
It needs more,
What?
it needs more cameras at the intersection,
Traffic cams?
at the elementary school.
At the
No,
school,
the next
that's,
one after,
Yeah,
the
right
one
at
right
the-
in front of
Right
Hannaford.
in front of
but
Hannaford.
the school
the one I'm
is
talking
bad,
about.
too.
In the school, like the other day I drove, the one at the school, just flashing yellow all day long.
Good.
That's all right.
We need a light there
Well, I
anyway.
see other people though trying to get in and out. I
Well,
mean, so it's,
when you're trying to get in the morning, you need a
Yeah.
light, or you wouldn't get in.
So what he has told us is that in the area, and they service the area basically, they service Brewer, Orono, Bangor, us, VZ. We have the oldest traffic equipment
wow.
in the area. So it's kind of where we're at.
So I guess what I was wondering is if we assessed them all, Bennick Road, all the way through, just to see what we need on each one, which sounds like you already got Bennick, you already got College Ave.
Yep.
Hannaford's, I think there's an issue at Hannaford's also.
Okay.
The one by Dunkin' Donuts, the school, that's a real new one, isn't it?
They're both new.
They're both
We
new.
updated both of them when they did the.
So,
Yeah,
but
this-
something's
Haven't-
wrong though at Hannaford, whether it's aimed wrong, there's something going on there.
And we've had problems at Hannaford where we've called on them to come up and do a lot of reset
Yeah.
stuff for us.
Okay.
So, and again, I don't know what there's a specific type that he suggested that we go with when it comes to cabinets, which we can get into that if you want to get bids on other stuff. But what it is that they use is a state-of-the-art type
Right.
controller. He showed John and I a controller that set up, and you can actually watch live feed of traffic going through.
Right.
You can't record in the state of Maine, 'cause it's a violation of law, but you can watch traffic coming and going, and you can be a Bluetooth, it can be a
You can do that.
Ethernet, internet stuff. You can
I've done it before on my phone during the winter watching the toll booths. You can watch traffic go through.
Yeah, so it's what they're using is it's the state of the art for traffic control. So, and I can tell you at 3 o'clock on Friday, we had a call right up in that area of Stillwater and College Avenue, and it was a cluster. I mean, there's a lot of traffic in there.
So the whole bill is on us, and the state's not going to help us out at all.
Well, we've got some names that we're reaching out to, and we,
Count on it.
yeah, he provided us with another name too to reach out to. I made a call today, I didn't get a call back, and when I called late this afternoon, the phone was busy, so we'll keep trying to push forward on something.
think
You
if
would
we-
hope that they would do that, because one of the things that they're identifying in the Stillwater Bridge project is they readily admit that the two choke points are those intersections, and they say it's the lights. But, we're 2 or 3 years away from that all happening. So the question is, do you wait that long?
Right.
Can we get reimbursement for this if we did it now? I mean, those are
And then
all
a couple of years
questions
from now, they reimburse us when they
that's
do
all
the stuff.
questions we can ask.
Right.
Whether or not they'll do it, I don't know.
Can you just get us like a spreadsheet, something like what we had tonight, just on each light, what it's going to take, what we need for each light, and what it's
Yeah, we can
cost
break
will
that
be?
down for you.
Yeah.
Basically what you're saying though, we probably need to do a minimum standard of putting cameras in the Bennick Road intersection.
That was his,
Whether we replace the cabinets or not, we could make the cabinets a budget item next year or something
Right.
like that, but we kinda need to do the cameras now.
and that's what he suggested. If
That was
if
how much? 10,000?
15,000 for the cameras,
15,000
and then
for cameras.
you do have to do it's 1,500 or 1,600 to replace that one cluster of
Right.
lights. He said, because that is, if it goes, it's beyond repair. You
Right.
can't fix it. You're out of business with it. So, and that was one of his recommendations, was at the very minimum, this is what we would do the
Just for
very,
that
do the
area.
very minimum
Yeah.
to, because, like you said, you don't have the detection. And detection is what's really slowing you down.
Yep. If you could just break all that down
I
per
can.
light and
Yep.
just send it to us, that'd be great.
So you want a breakdown of all intersections?
Yeah.
From Hannaford all the way out through to
Yep.
Bennett?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then we can pick and choose whatever we're gonna do. I do agree, we gotta do something at Bennick to get that rolling, so.
Okay.
Okay, well, nice job, Chief. I'm glad you got, all the information.
Sure.
Glad you're educated.
Yeah.
Hey, huh?
By the way, congratulations on your success last week.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank
Very
you.
nice
Yes,
job.
thank you. Yeah, it was a very, very good team effort. They did a great job. Those guys did a great job.
Hoping at the council meeting, next council meeting, you can bring them here so we can thank
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, absolutely. Can make that happen. Okay.
Thank you,
Great.
Chief.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's it for the Finance Committee, so we will move on to the special council meeting. So, Patty, we set? Okay. I call the September 19, 2016 special council meeting to order. Flag salute. Carol, please. Thank you. Roll call.
Silent roll call has been taken and a quorum is present.
Approval of the minutes. There are none. Petition communication citizens request. This time, anyone in the audience that would like to talk. Reports, council president. I'm just going to pass that along to Council May for Riverfest. Standing committees. City councilors.
Yes.
Yes.
I would like to see an article written in the paper concerning how some people get the, what's the word?
Homestead.
Homestead exemption. I couldn't figure out why I don't get it, but now I know, and it made sense. Travis told me. But many people do not know. A lot of people don't even know how you have to apply to get it. So I really think we need a real explanation done in the paper,
We can-
Carol's paper.
We can do that.
We did that in 2011 when I started, and we'll be glad to do it again.
We can do that again.
It's a
I
good
think it's
idea.
real important.
That's a good
I got an
idea.
earful from Jan the other day about
Yeah, you did.
I did. And then Bill got an earful from me. Yes. No, I think that's a great idea. So Travis, if you can do that, that would be great. Thank you. Riverfest.
Riverfest is all set to go. The signs are up. Everybody's really excited about it. When the signs went up today, the Riverfest email just kept bing, bing, bing. I don't know how it got by them, but Riverfest is this weekend, and everybody all of a sudden wanted to be involved. It's great, and I really appreciate all the help we've had from the city. We've got a good committee, but we couldn't do it without the help from that we get from the city departments. We'll have kids' talent show, fireworks, Zumba on Friday night, Saturday, the parade, and all the booths and all the food. There'll be food Friday night, too, so it'll be a good time. And we've got a big parade.
That's the best part.
Yes, yes.
What about the weather? What have you heard on the weather?
We don't, weather's
Sunny and
fine.
80,
We
I
don't
heard.
even worry about the weather. We can't change it, so it's going to be
I
nice.
don't want to get my
There
hair
you
wet.
go.
Okay, any other councilors? All right. City attorney.
Nothing you don't already know about.
Thank you. Special committee, city manager.
Just two items, Jefferson Street. We have the development contract that we
Oh, yes.
had
Yep.
signed last year. That's essentially run out now, so we're doing that contract again with the same developers, and they plan on moving forward. Like I said, we're just getting Ransom, doing the VRAP on that, and they're all prepared to move that forward. And
Same people,
Yep,
same
yep,
everybody. Yep.
everything just the same.
Okay.
And the only other thing, downtown TIF, Ron's just starting to try to put together something on that. I know the LLC's been asking about having something done for downtown TIF, so he's just starting to work on that. So you'll see something come through at some point initially, just to get a look at that and
Okay.
present it to you. That's it.
Any questions for Bill? Perfect. Okay, consent agenda, public hearings, old business. New business. The city council consider issuance of a proclamation in observance of Constitution Week, September 17th through the 23rd. Councilor Klitsch.
Resolved, the Old Town City Council hereby approves issuance of a proclamation in observance of Constitutional Week, September 17th through the 23rd, sponsored by the Old Town Ayers Chapter Daughters of the American Revolution.
Okay, is there a second?
A second.
Carol, discussion?
Just an annual
We do it every year, correct?
DAR, yes.
Yep. Okay. All those in favor? None opposed. 5-0. Last item for tonight. City Council consider going into executive session for the purpose of discussing possible litigation with the city attorney, Councilor May.
Resolved, the Old Town City Council hereby approves going into executive session pursuant to Title I, MRSA Section 4056E, for the purpose of discussing possible litigation with the city attorney.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
EJ, discussion? All those in favor? None opposed. It is 7:01 p.m.